Do you know a church leader who doesn't love technology? Maybe they're reluctant or even frustrated to get into it. Well, in this video, we're going to provide some tips for you as a church communications expert in how to help your leader who doesn't love technology. Hello my friends, welcome to Word Made Digital Tutorials. I'm Joanna Lafleur, and this tutorial is brought to you by Compassion Canada and the Canadian Bible Society. Thanks so much to them, and more on them later. We're talking about technology and people who are maybe a bit Luddite about it, maybe not into technology. And there's lots we can say. I'm going to provide 7 tips here on what you can do if you're a leader, or maybe you're serving on a team and you're trying to help someone out, but they don't love technology, they feel frustrated by it, or they're even anti-technology. We're going to help them out in this tutorial by helping you out as you serve on that team. So let's go. Number 1 is you just want to have some empathy. If you're a person struggling with someone on your team or someone who's leading you and they don't like technology, or they're frustrated by it, think about it. Maybe they've never been trained in it. Maybe they went to seminary or a school at a time where this was never part of what they expected to do in their work. And so change is hard, and we don't like change often because when we change, we feel like we're a beginner. And if we're an expert or we're confident and competent in lots of other areas of our life, but with technology, we feel incompetent, or we feel like we're fumbling along and get lost or get stuck on things a lot of the time. Nobody likes to feel that way. And so if they haven't been trained in it, or they just haven't been familiarized with it, it's a new technology, let's start with empathy. That's the first and most important thing I think we can say in this video, is that we get it. Technology is changing all the time, and it's hard. There's new technologies out every day. There's things that I don't know at all, and I need to go to someone to help me learn, or I have to go watch videos about it. And so it can feel frustrating, and you can feel like you're behind. And I'm with you, and I understand is maybe some of the best words we can use to help people who don't like technology. Number 2 is testimonies. Find people in your church community who have been positively impacted by the use of technology. Maybe it's someone who has met Jesus through your online services, or someone who found your church in the neighborhood because of Instagram, or people who have been really able to connect with a service or a sermon series because of some technology or media options that were used by the sermon or by the preacher. Whatever it may be, whatever it is that the technology is that your leader is struggling with, if you can find some meaningful testimonials of real people who have been impacted in a positive way by the technology, it might make your leader softer and more open to what's happening and what the possibilities are if they use the technology as well. For some people, they forget that technology is, of course, ultimately there to serve people. And if they're there to serve people, if you can connect the stories of impact of real people to the technology, it might go a long way for that leader who's reluctant, frustrated, and struggling to use technology at all. Number 3, if they're reluctant, why don't you consider introducing a new technology, a new tool, a new resource, a new thing into a lower risk environment? For a lot of senior leaders, they don't want to make mistakes or feel like they're fumbling along in front of the whole church, where it might feel like high stakes for them. And so consider doing it in a small group setting, or a youth group setting, or maybe a one-off pilot group series where you can try something out in a smaller, safer environment, so that if it's a high-risk thing for them, that they don't need to feel like they're putting it all on something that they feel is their most important thing, which is often for them a Sunday morning worship experience. So we want to find other environments where we can do that, and just ways to introduce technology where we can test it out and see how it works first before we bring it to everybody. I want to pause for a minute and talk to you about the Canadian Bible Society, because they have tools and resources. They're leveraging technology to reach people with this ancient, precious book that is the Bible, the scriptures, but doing it in a new way for a new age. There's all kinds of resources, digital resources for you as an individual, for small groups. They have amazing Bible resources and studies like, I'm loving this one called the Bible Course. It's an 8-week course and a video series that groups can do, whether they're brand new to Christianity and the Bible or they've been around it for a long time. There's something for everybody in this course. They have all kinds of resources for scriptures, but not just for scriptures for your people. They have it for you as the leader. So get on their website, biblesociety.ca, check out what they have to offer. That's your next step today. Check out the link below and see all these resources, many of which are free to you, free to use, and free for you as a leader, so they can leverage you in the digital world with all the technology and all that is possible to bring the ancient world of Scripture into the modern era. So back in what we're talking about with leaders who are reluctant and don't like technology, one of the things we need to do is help them on the journey of recognize that there is no kind of going back. They want to go back to what is normal to them or what they were used to. And it's helping them through some resources, maybe a peer group for them, maybe some experts that are outside of your church community to help them understand that this new thing is in fact the new normal. There is no going back to the old. So, if they're feeling disoriented and exhausted, it might help to have them in a peer group or some people who are experts outside of your local church. So maybe it doesn't have to be you if it's like less personal that way, to encourage them and help them along, help them reach more people, help them see that this new way isn't all bad, that there's some amazing things about it. So related to that, the fifth thing is that they may just very well need some training. So maybe you, for such a time as this, are in place to train them. I have news for you, church communications people. Part of your role as you serve in church communications is to train and to teach. Just like I'm training or teaching you through these tutorials, that's your role with your own church community. That's why you're in the role, not just to communicate up front, but to help bring people along with you, to shepherd them in technology that helps facilitate communication. And so if you aren't the right person, you can find resources and tools online, but it might just simply be with the new technology that you need to film. If it's something on your computer, you need to film yourself talking through step by step a screen recording of that thing so that they always have it on file on their desktop. If they always forget how to upload the podcast, or they can never remember how to post on Facebook properly or do an Instagram live, you can screen grab it on your phone or on your computer and talk them through how to do it step by step, so that can be a simple resource for your local leader to have. But of course, there's tons of resources on YouTube, on the internet. Books are less relevant with technology, but there's courses they can take, and you can help find the training that they may need if the training isn't something that you can offer yourself. But the first place I would encourage is for you to offer training to your leaders, for you to come alongside them, to serve the vision of the church. And as they shepherd people as the more senior leader to you, that you can come alongside and help them. Number 6, volunteers. You can find volunteers to do what they are never going to be very good at doing. It's an amazing way to engage more people in the life of your church. So there are more ways that volunteers can get involved than just shaking hands at the door, volunteering in kids ministry. Those things are all amazing, but there's things with technology that lots of volunteers can get involved with if they aren't already. It's an amazing way to leverage people who maybe find some of the more people side of things more intimidating, but if they're maybe more introverted or more technical, they would love and thrive in an environment where they can use their volunteer skills in that way. And it would be a blessing and a gift to the whole church community. Speaking of blessings to the church community, have you thought about Compassion Sponsor Kids? There's an amazing opportunity with this partner of ours here at Word Made Digital with Compassion Canada and Compassion as a global organization of getting involved with the local church in places around the world through the local church who are sponsoring kids. So when you sponsor a kid with Compassion, you're not just giving to a random child in a random place. You're actually giving through the local church there as they serve the child and their whole family through physical, emotional, and spiritual needs. I've seen for myself the amazing impact of this ministry as kids are welcomed into the local church community who are able to serve them, able to give them what they need to thrive as a whole person in life. And it's amazing to see what happens out the other side. There's some videos right here on this page if you want to check out. I'll link down in the show notes if you want to see stories of some of the ways that this impact has happened around the world. So I encourage you to do that. Volunteering is not just in your local church here, it's happening around the world. We as a community rising up as Christians to serve the needs of our people, whether that's in person or online. The seventh thing and the last thing is just an honest assessment of, can your leader change? Not everyone is able to change and transition to a new technology, a new approach to ministry, this new normal that we're entering into. And for some, that's okay. There's an old school way of doing things, and for some, that still works, and they don't actually need to do the new thing. But for you, if you're feeling constantly frustration, if you're feeling that you can't respect the decisions of your leader because they are unable to come forward into using new approaches and new technologies, I continue to prayerfully, humbly consider if this is a place you can continue in the long term. Serve as best as you can where you are. Give all your effort to leaning into the vision of this church, to offering all your skills, offering the technology, offering the training, offering volunteer, whatever you can offer, as we've outlined in this video, with great empathy, with great humility, with great love. Serve your local church. And ultimately, if you feel that you have skills and dreams that can't be used in that local church, why not try something for yourself online? You can keep serving in your local church and start up your own YouTube channel, start up an Instagram page, start something up to reach, to disciple and evangelize people in your community through technologies, through the things that you love to use and you know how to use. So I encourage you to do it. It doesn't have to stop you. Even if your local church is not going to use technology, don't let that stop you from, with humility and love, leaning in and using the technology so that you can leverage it, because it's all about people. We say here at We're Made Digital that the church doesn't just have good news, we have the best news in the world. So we want to be great communicators of that message across all technology platforms. So if your leader is unable to come with you, that's okay. You can still serve them and love your local church while also experimenting on your own, or maybe with a small group of people, not out of rebellion, but out of great passion, love, curiosity, creativity. Go and try something new on the internet. The cost of entry is really low. It doesn't cost much. You might be able to just use the phone that you're watching this video on and go out and try something new yourself. Hope this video helped you. If you're a church wrestling with new technology, much love and prayer and cheering you on. It's not easy, but you can do it. The resources are available to you. And that's why we want to make these resources available to you, like these We're Made Digital tutorials. So thanks so much to Compassion Canada and the Canadian Bible Society for making these videos possible. We have tons of resources for you here on this page. You can check out we'remadedigital.com, check out our podcast, check out all the stuff that we have to resource you as you tell the best news in the world. See you on the next tutorial.